Alright. Welcome back to Welcome Demon School Iruma-kun Anime Review Episode 13. This is going to be my final video for now for this anime review series, well, until whenever Season 3 starts up. Now, this series has been really good. I have thoroughly enjoyed watching this series from beginning to end. I mean, can you believe I only started this series just a couple weeks ago? Now, here's the thing I should mention before I continue here about the dub. Now, before I even start watching this series, as of basically prior to this, basically prior to me starting it, that they only had dub for season 2 up to episode 17. And then just recently, in the past month, they released the final 4 episodes. Why the heck they took like a 3-month break from the episodes, I have no idea. I mean, couldn't you wait till a story is finished before you actually take a break? I mean, they pretty much dubbed, like, what they did is they didn't dub, like, the very last episode of Walter Park, and these last 3 episodes just covered here. Yep. Now, in case you're curious of how much of the anime is covered in just 2 seasons so far, well, if you look at it anyways, the very first season of the show only covered to pretty much chapter 40. Let's see. I would say pretty much to about 43, I'd say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say that by the time you finish up the first season, they only covered the first 43 chapters. And in the case of this season, it was a bit more. Like, I'd probably say they covered about, let's see, 53, 43, and the last episode they left off with this one. Let's see, they did cover the episode 88. Yes, they did. For 80, they pretty much covered chapters 44 to 89. That's roughly about 46 chapters right there. Mm-hmm. So I'd probably say that in the case of this season, per se, they covered about roughly 50 chapters of the manga, per se. Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. And they started to adapt. Like, you could definitely say by the time you finish up watching the very final episode of season 2, that they pretty much covered the tournament arc, basically, which is like a special epilogue between Walter Park and, well, basically, you can definitely say, well, one thing about the next 2 arcs, they're basically there to set up the Hard Festival arc, which is basically 38 chapters. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Well, I say it's like 39, but yeah. Some of the arcs do become a bit shorter afterwards. Mm-hmm. Like there's one arc which is called a Soul Pierce arc. That's there purely to set up the music festival arc. And then you have post music festival, and then you have the Abdu Games, which that was the arc to introduce Kimu's sister, Corey's sister. Yep. And then you have 13 Crowns, which is a very brief arc per se. Which, at the time when I started watching the anime, this is actually the most recent arc I had caught up with. I had just finished this arc with 13 Fiends. And the arc that's going right now in the manga is basically called Heartbreakers. That's what this called. Like, the purpose of this arc, they bring us new first years in, and you have basically the first test of the second years is to protect their juniors with these little hearts, basically, that are heart balloons that are wrapped around their bellies, and they have protection from teachers. Everybody has to protect Karen's little sister, and of course, this little sister's not the only little sister. So, Subaru's little sister basically joins school too. She joins school very soon, and she hangs out with her brother in this arc, which this arc has not been going on very long in the manga. No, it hasn't. I mean, it officially started with. I mean, it actually started with chapter 214. And you're thinking, really? 214? Yes, 214. That was the, like, that is pretty much like the, how should I put this? Yeah, 214 is like roughly like pretty much where the current arc started with. Now you might be thinking, Nick, are you going to be doing some reviews of this particular arc? I probably will. I mean, this has been a really good arc per se, so far anyways. But this will be something basically adapt in the future. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In the case of like what they're gonna adapt, they're probably gonna adapt pretty much a combination of pretty much like the last couple chapters for and the final days, and they're probably gonna finish these two. They're probably go through these two arcs first for the anime. Mm-hmm. Yes, I definitely do say so. They're probably gonna go through pretty much both these two, like right away. Uh huh. Yeah, these two arcs probably finish up pretty quickly due to the fact that, well, they're not exactly very long per se. No, not really. Yeah, I mean, in case you wonder about special tutor training, of course, this one is roughly like 7 chapters, so it's not like this won't take too long to get through. No, not really. I'd say this would be pretty quick of an arc. Yeah, I'd say within the first few episodes, they're probably going to go through this arc and finish up the previous arc of the series. Yes, I do believe so. Mm-hmm. Yep. This would definitely say basically the cover when season 3 finally comes out. Yep. So yeah, that's a particular review. Stay tuned for my very next review, which is going to be a comic corner and then 2 manga reviews, and that'll be it for the moment, and then we'll be back to watching anime. We're kind of rearranging a bit today because I didn't get a chance to do Case Close last night due to the fact how late it got. So, today, the first anime we'll cover is Case Close, then Boruto, then Mushoku Tenshin, and finally I'll cap it off with One Piece. Oh, and by the way, the place anime review series this one, I'm gonna basically resume Two Level of Darkness, starting with season 2 of the show. Okay? Excuse me. See you next video. Bye.